Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to the Tony C. Davis Show, coming to you by way of the Raven International Network and the amazing women and men of power. Again, I am your host, Tony C. Davis, where we share everything from faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun, and anything in between. So if you have some valuable content you'd like to share, reach out to me at thetcdshow@gmail.com. That's thetcdshow@gmail.com.
Hey guys, Tony C.
We can
Davis
share
here.
your
Welcome
valuable
to the
content.
Tony C.
So
Davis
stay
Show.
tuned
I
for
am
this
your
week's
host,
show.
Tony C. Davis, coming to you by way of the Raven International TV Network, which is on Roku, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and also Spreaker. And I'm also on Facebook as well as YouTube. And again, I am your host, Tony C. Davis, where we share anything from faith, family, fitness, finance, fun, and anything in between. So tonight, guys, I have a little different show. Normally, I would go live with one of my guests. But actually, I'm going to go solo tonight. I'm going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is health. Now, if you followed me for any amount of time, you may not know that back in January of 2018, I had a stroke. So here's the story. As long as I can remember, I've always worked out. You know, I've been into health and fitness for a long time, more so fitness and working out than necessarily nutrition. And so that being said, grew up lifting weights, playing football, running track, boxing, things of that nature. Always felt like I was an athlete. I am an athlete, really. And one thing I never really considered or really concerned myself with was nutrition. So that being said, my wife, she's a nurse, and she's oftentimes telling me about certain things that I should and should not eat. And I always had a comeback, and that comeback was I work out. So long story short, there's a program. I'm actually a manager at a weight loss center as well, and we help people lose weight with foods from their local grocery store. The company's called Shibboleth. Love the program, but initially I had no intentions of getting involved with Shibboleth. Again, since I work out and since I considered myself physically fit, I thought I was okay, really didn't need it. But my wife found out about the program, and she decided to sign me to Cartersville, Georgia, where one of the fitness centers or the weight loss centers is located. Had no intentions of joining the program, again, because I work out. With that being said, I just so happened to run into the owner of the program or the company, Travis Martin, there. And so he talked to me for a while, and I eventually ended up signing up for Shibboleth. And within 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, I had actually lost 10 pounds. I was happy with that. But what happened was I went back to the same old habits, eating habits. And so it wasn't long before, during my very first weightlifting session, powerlifting session rather, I ended up having a stroke. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. So that being said, once I realized that, you can look fit, you can work out and do all those things and still not be healthy, that's when I became more serious about nutrition. And so I very well have learned my lesson. And I basically encourage people to take nutrition very seriously. And with Shibboleth, you can do that. So very briefly tonight, I want to just share some of the things that we do with Shibboleth to help people lose weight and get their lives back. And, when a person is, and let's say obese, because I can't really relate to that because I've never really been obese, never really been what you call fat. I was just, a little bit heavier than I should have been. But that being said, I really can't relate to people who have lived with obesity and being called names all their lives. I can empathize with them, but, I really don't know how it feels. And so working with the people that we work with, oftentimes run into people who have, again, had, situations in their lives where they were being taunted, teased, isolated. They felt isolated because of their weight, and it took a heavy toll on them. And so to be able to work with people like that, almost on a daily basis, that's a very satisfying career. And so that being said, that's what I want to share with you tonight, those of you who are listening, and share what Shibboleth has done, what we're about. And again, just hopefully you can consider possibly, maybe not Shibboleth, but something to improve your health. Please, I would ask you consider us as your weight loss team, but if not, do something every day to improve your health. So when it comes to Shibboleth, again, we believe in putting foods in the proper combinations that will allow people to live a sustainable life when it comes to losing weight. You know, a lot of programs out there, they work, but they're just temporary fixes. They're diets. And we believe that diets die off. The first letter in the word diet is die. You know, that's what Travis, the founder of Cibola, says. You know, and you think about it, diets do, they die off. You know, they don't stick around. People don't stick with diets long. They may bring you some simple or some possibly some quick relief or some quick weight loss, but the simplicity of the program, oftentimes there's an underlying thing that you don't see, and the fact that it could be causing your harm to your body. And with Shibboleth, again, it is a sustainable program. It's something that you can do, I believe, to live a healthier life. So that being said, one of the first things about Shibboleth, we want to know, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you need to lose weight? Because if you don't have a strong why, and that's about in anything, you know, in business, in ministry, in weight loss, in relationships, if you don't have a strong why, a reason to make it work, a reason to stick with it, you may not stick with it. So when it comes to Shibboleth, we want to know what your why is. You know, for me, it was the fact that, you know, I had that stroke. It was a real eye opener for me because, again, to look at me, nobody would think that I had that particular problem. Actually, what happened is that my blood pressure was high the day that I actually started the powerlifting. Did not know it, but again, by the grace of God, I'm still here. One of the first things that we do, find out what your why is, find out what it is rather. And again, if you have a very strong why, you can stick with just about anything. So with Shibboleth, we have what we call the 5 tenets of success, and that is the bulletproof shield. And that shield starts off with water. Water is key to living a healthier life. In this day and age where people drink sodas and energy drinks and, you know, all types of other liquids, water is going to be the best liquid you can have to sustain life and to flush your system, flush your kidneys, purge your body, keep you hydrated. It helps with the elasticity of your skin. Water is key. You know, much of our body is made up of water. So we believe, you know, water in, water out, water in, poop out. It flushes out all the bad things, the toxins that are in your body. And with Shibboleth, we encourage our members to drink from a half a gallon to a gallon of water per day. Again, that is to sustain you, to flush your system, and to get those toxins out. The number 2 is journaling. Now, when we say journaling, we're talking about anything that goes in that hole beneath your nose. Whatever you put in your mouth, you write it down, you journal it. Write what it was that you ate, why you ate it, how you felt when you ate it, what caused you to possibly eat this thing. And so what we have found out is that a lot of people could have success with Shibboleth and just about any other program if they would simply journal. A lot of people don't journal. I don't like necessarily journaling, but in order to have success, in order to reach the particular goal that I have, I need to journal. Third thing we're going to look at is combinations. When we talk about combinations, we're talking about putting foods in the proper combinations, so it's going to help you get into what we call efficient fat burning. And some of the best combinations is going to be what we call a category 1, which is going to be lean protein, category 2, which is going to be fibrous carbs, category 3, which is going to be energy carbs, and category 4, which is going to be protein plus fat. So these are our fastest combinations for weight loss. And if you put these combinations together, again, we're talking about a 1 plus 2, again, is going to be a lean protein plus a fibrous carb, a 1 plus 2 plus MCT. MCT is the medium chain triglyceride, the oil that we cook in, which actually helps to burn more fat. Unlike olive oil or avocado oil, even some coconut oil, where it actually cooks fat into the food, MCT oil does not do that, and you can actually have a better meal using the MCT oil. And then we also have a 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is going to be things like your steak, your pork, your dark meats, 97% lean ground beef. These are going to be, again, proteins plus fat. They have more fat in them than, let's say, chicken breast. And so these are the combinations. So you have water, you have journaling, you have combinations, then you also have portions. Now, we live in a day and age where you go to a restaurant, they bring you out a big platter full of food, and most of us, we like to see that big platter of food. We want to feel like we're getting our money's worth. But with Shibboleth, if you're going to have success and you're going to lose weight, you need to have your food on a 6 to 8 inch plate, you know. And when we talk about a 6 to 8 inch plate, we're talking about like the little kiddie plates, something that can actually, your hands can fit over. Now, if you don't have a 6 to 8 inch plate and you go into a restaurant, you want to take your hands, and let me see if I can show you this right here. This right here. And you want to put that over your plate. Put that over your plate. And the food that's under your plate, under your hand, that's what you eat. Anything outside of that, if you're at a restaurant, you take it home. And you don't want it to be any more than the thickest part of your hand. You don't want your food to be stacked up high. And this is going to be able to control your portions. Now, what I did not know is that our stomachs, if you take your hands and put them together, that's the size of your stomach. But of course, over time, as we continue to feed ourselves and overfeed ourselves, the stomach becomes wider and wider. It expands. And so that's why you have people with beer guts and things of that nature. So we've got water, we've got journaling, we've got combinations, we've got portions, and the next thing is going to be timing. If you're going to have success with this program, you need to know about timing. We believe in eating 3 meals a day: breakfast for the Father, lunch for the Son, and dinner for the Holy Spirit. 3 times a day plus 1 snack. Now, that is one area where a person can actually fudge a little bit. You may not necessarily want to be one of those to eat breakfast, and that's fine if you can control yourself. Now, what we've found is that a lot of people who don't eat breakfast tend to overeat during lunch or dinner. And that way you're basically hurting yourself instead of helping yourself. So possibly, if you're not a big breakfast person, start out with something light, maybe some egg whites to kick your day off, and so that you don't get as hungry during lunchtime and then end up blowing it during lunchtime. And so at lunchtime, you may have another a meal. You want to be able to space your meals between 4 to 6 hours throughout the day, and 1 snack. And we don't want to see people grazing. What we call grazing is where you eat all day. It may not be large meals, but people are snacking on chips and cookies and, you know, pastries and things of that nature throughout the day. And quite possibly it could even be healthier food, but they're grazing. And so by the end of the day, instead of having a few hundred calories, they've had thousands of calories. I think the daily allowance is about 2,000 calories. It depends on the individual. But imagine if you're eating, let's say at a restaurant, not checking how many calories is in the food, plus you've been grazing all day, more likely than not, you've ingested more than 2,000 calories. So that being said, with Shibboleth, again, we're talking about water, journaling, combinations, portions, and timing. This is how you're going to have success with this program. And we want to help people get their lives back. You know, it's entirely up to you in order to improve your life. Now, I'm a firm believer that God is responsible for my healing, but I am responsible for my health. What about you? So if you are one that needs to lose weight, if you need a something sustainable, something that you can actually eat for the rest of your life, then you need to check out Shibboleth. Again, we share information with people, foods that you can find at your local grocery store, nothing special. You don't have to worry about counting calories, because if you put these foods together in the proper combinations, in the proper portions, the right timing, you're going to have success, and you don't need to worry about calories. So again, check us out. And again, I am Tony C. Davis. If you have some valuable content to share, just reach out to me at thetcdshow@gmail.com. That is thetcdshow@gmail.com. We'll help you share your valuable content with the world. Again, I appreciate you for coming on. If you need to get in touch with me, reach out to me also at my website at TonyCDavis.com. And we want to help you share your valuable content with the world. Thank you all, and you all be blessed.
Hey guys, so that's a wrap for another show. I really do appreciate you for joining us today. I hope that you found some value in today's show. Now listen, if you have some valuable content to share, reach out to me at thetcdshow@gmail.com, thetcdshow gmail.com. We'll share your valuable content with the world. Now listen, also you can follow me live on Facebook, where I actually do some live recording. So I appreciate you, my friends. And in the words of my good friend, Mr. Willis Wright, I'll see you at the top or from the top, because the bottom is definitely way too crowded. God bless.